Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a Wichita Postcard of the Week. I don't know if you were able to see the recent uh, Wichita Postcard Club meeting, but if not, it all had to do with QSL cards, and it was given by John Findling here in Wichita. But if not, check back and look on YouTube and check out that his presentation. I think you'll find it really interesting. What a QSL card is a postcard that was exchanged between ham radio operators. That used to be, and probably still is to some extent, a big hobby. I imagine most neighborhoods had one or two people that may have had a ham radio set up, in a back room, a bedroom, or maybe even a basement or an attic place. Maybe the attic to get a little bit higher because heights of antennas and all kinds of equipment. It was a hobby that just engaged people tremendously. And if you were electronically and radio savvy, then being a ham radio operator was pretty cool. We had a neighbor down the street that was a ham radio operator, and I knew it not because I'd seen his setup, but he had a cool license tag. And the license tag had his call letters, 4 or 5 letters, instead of saying, it was kind of an early form of a vanity license tag. In any case, this week I wanted to show you this card that's a real photo postcard, and it was exchanged with another ham radio operator in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1957. It was sent through the mail, stamped, addressed, and so forth. It's cool because it's a Wichita postcard, and that's what I've decided to add to my hometown Wichita postcard collection, are a few of these more interesting, to me anyway, QSL cards from my hometown. Dick Azum's name is at the top of this, and he turns out to be a very prominent photographer back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. At the time he mailed this card, you can see he was living at 522 South Minnesota. That would have been one of the north-south streets just west of East High and the Kellogg Drainage Canal. That's today the I-35 going through Wichita. But Minnesota, all of that area in there was vacated and roads built in there. So of that particular block and area. I had a good friend that lived just down the street from him, so I was familiar with that area. But Mr. Azum lived there, and then he built another home on North Oliver. Well, I guess it would have been South Oliver, really, because it was south of Douglas, but it was just north of East Kellogg. And you may have remembered his home. It was a distinctive mid-century 1950s modernistic-looking home on the east side of the street. He had cars parked out in front, and oftentimes with a van with the, Dick Azum photography and so forth on it. But he must have, I assume that he took the picture of this bird's eye view of Wichita. Can't be sure. I don't know if he flew a plane, but he could certainly have ridden along on a plane ride and made several pictures and then selected this one. But we can see downtown Wichita in this pretty clearly, especially with the help of a magnifying glass. But you see right across the top, the second line, KOJEJ, that's his sign or handle or his code in the radio, in the ham radio world. Below is a lot of details as far as what kind of an antenna he had, the date that this and the time of this exchange between the radio signals. Just think about it. radio signals and all of this operating, and it was a cool hobby, and a few people in almost every neighborhood had a setup. We have a friend down the street was a ham radio operator, and his license tag was kind of an early day vanity tag in that it had his ham radio signal, his 4 or 5 letters going across on the license tag itself. I loved that and learned about it early on after we moved to this house. But this is a cool Wichita real photo postcard, and then it's so identified with Dick Azam, the photographer. I'm happy to have this one and look forward to adding a few more to my collection. I don't want them all. I just want to be kind of selective and pick out ones that of people that maybe I remember hearing their name or made some kind of an impact. It might have been a neighbor or a friend of somebody. But anyway, this is a QSL card. Hope you enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.